response to gravity. So we've talked about hydrotrophism, phototrophism, and we've talked about geotrophism. All right. So I think that was all we talked about in our last class yesterday. So today we're going to be talking about another topic, and that is reproduction. And the reproduction we are talking about here is the types of reproduction. I don't know, did you attend the April SSCE boot camp? Did you attend the April SSCE boot camp?
Yes.
Okay, good. So do you remember that we did reproduction in the April SSCE boot camp? Did you attend that class? That was the first or second class that we had, the
No,
first or
no,
second
no,
class. You didn't attend it.
no.
Okay, 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 all right. You should be able to access the recording on your dashboard. I'm not sure. The title is reproductive system. We talked about reproductive system in mammals. We talked about reproductive system in mammals. We talked about the reproductive organs, the male reproductive organs and the female reproductive organs, both external reproductive organs and internal reproductive organs. So the reproduction we are talking about today, we are talking about the types of reproduction. And reproduction, let me begin by refreshing your memory on the meaning of reproduction. What does reproduction mean? Do you know the meaning of reproduction? Can you give it a trial? Melody, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can leave your mic unmuted since it's just you and I. So it will be easier for us to interact. All right. So reproduction can be defined as the ability of an organism to give birth to young ones. For example, a goat, a male goat and a female goat, they mate and they give birth to offspring. Mammals mate, male and female mammal mate and they give birth to offspring. Just like I am, my mother and my father did mate and they reproduced me. So reproduction is just the ability of an organism to give birth to their young ones. And what is the importance of reproduction? Reproduction ensures continuity of life. It ensures continuity of life. Now, if we have a hen and a cock, when they mate, they give birth to offspring, right? Now imagine the hen and the cock don't mate. You see people that are going into poultry farming. Some of them will start they start rearing chickens. They can start with like 5 females and 2 males. Those males will mate with the female and they will give birth to chicks. And before you know it, in the next 1 year, someone that started a small poultry business in their compound with five female hen and 2 cockroach. Before you know it, obviously at the end of 1 year, they will not have female hen and 2 cockroach. There will be way more than that. What has happened? Reproduction has taken place, and that has ensured continuity of life. But imagine if that person decides to rear only female chicken and keep them locked up in a cage, or decides to rear only male cockerels and he keeps them locked in a cage. There is no other sex for them to mate with. At the end of 1 year, the person would not have three extra chickens. They will only be left to the number that they started with. That is if they don't even end up dying before 1 year. Or like when you have a male and female chicken together in a cage, they mate and they continue to reproduce. Now, talking about the types of reproduction, there are two types of reproduction. We have sexual reproduction and we have asexual reproduction. Give me a moment. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. Okay. If you can see my screen, drop an emoji. Melody, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. So talking about the types of reproduction, give me a moment. Okay. I said we have two types of reproduction. We have sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So the first type we'll talk about is the asexual reproduction. And this involves, asexual reproduction involves a replication of a single parent. It involves a single parent. Asexual reproduction is a mode of respiration that involves only one parent, and it doesn't involve the fusion of gametes. Now, when you say something involves fusion of gametes, the male will come, the male gametes will come, the female gametes will come, and they fuse together. But in asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes. It involves only one parent organism, and only one parent is present. It produces asexual reproduction produces organisms that are identical, genetically identical to their parent cell. They are not distinct, they are identical, genetically identical. And what kind of organisms exhibit asexual reproduction? It is common in simple unicellular organisms like bacteria and protozoa, and even some lower plants like the fungi and the algae. And it is also common in some multicellular organisms like hydra. I don't know if you've heard about hydra before, and even some flowery plants. Now, with the method of asexual reproduction, there are different methods of asexual reproduction, different types of asexual reproduction. For example, we have fission, which can be binary fission. We have budding, we have spore formation, we have fragmentation, we have vegetative propagation. And yes, that's all. So talking about the first part, fission, asexual reproduction by fission. In fission is the simplest form of asexual reproduction. It's very, very simple. How does it occur? It involves parent cells. The parent cells divide into two or more daughter cells, each of which can exist by itself. Now, binary fission occurs in organisms like amoeba and paramecium, which are obviously unicellular organisms. Then we have budding. Now, budding occurs in a plant like hydra. It occurs in a plant like hydra, in which, okay, give me a moment. Let me display an image for you. Thought I had it here. Give me a moment. I'm going to display an image now. I want to show you budding. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay, if you can see my screen, let me know. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is it. Can you see the screen?
No, ma, you left.
Left? Hold on,
Okay,
hold on,
yes,
hold
I
on.
can
It's
see.
coming up. Okay, it's coming. Oh, okay, good. It's coming up now. So that's an example of an organism that reproduces by body, the hydra. Now, hydra, what does our body involve? It involves offspring developing as an outgrowth. If you take a look at this, it comes out as just a small outpocketing. And before you know it, it's growing, moves to the next stage, and before you know it, it's fully grown and it cuts off. It cuts off from the parent plant and begins to exist on its own. This outpocketing you are looking at, this outgrowth, is called a bud. So an hydra reproduces via budding. And once they mature and break off from their parent plant, they are able to live their own life independently. And they to continue to grow. And once they grow and reach the age of reproduction, they also undergo the process of budding. Now we have the next type of asexual reproduction, which is spore formation. Spore formation, from the word spore, you know it involves formation of spores. It involves the formation of spores. And these spores are light bodies. They are light in nature. They are very light, and they are easily dispersed because they are light, they are easily dispersed around. They can be, especially by air, they can be easily dispersed by air. Now, under favorable condition, this spore will not can develop into an independent organism. When the condition is not favorable, they continue to exist like spores are caused by fungi, algae, protists, and even bacteria. Please give me a moment. Sorry about that. Then we have the next type of asexual reproduction. We have propagation. We have propagation. Talking about propagation, what are we talking about? Vegetative propagation. Now, there are two types of vegetative propagation. We have the natural vegetative propagation and we have the artificial vegetative propagation. Now, what does vegetative propagation itself mean? It involves growing new plants from the portion of another plant, old plants, and it involves the use of vegetative part of a plant. That is why it is called vegetative propagation. You can use vegetative part of plant, like the leaf of a plant, the stem, the roots, etc. And like I mentioned, there are two types. We have the natural vegetative propagation, and we have artificial vegetative propagation. The natural propagation does not involve human intervention, while artificial involves human interventions. Example of natural vegetative propagation, we have like the tubers of yams, balls, etc. For artificial, we have the different types of artificial propagation. We have cutting, like stem cutting in cassava. We have grafting, like citrus grafting. We have layering. We have marcotting, and we have budding also. They're talking about the last type of propagation of the last type of asexual reproduction. We have fragmentation. Fragmentation involves a single parent plant breaking into small pieces, and these small pieces are known as fragments. Now, after attaining the maximum length, they start breaking off into smaller pieces called fragments, and each fragment has the ability to develop into a whole new individual, and they are also able to continue to go on with their own life independently. Now, if you remember, we talked about organisms that reproduce by fragmentation when we talked about the cell. I don't know if you were in that class. And we said an organism that lives as a fragment is Spirogyra. So obviously, organisms that reproduce via fragmentation, we also have Spirogyra in it. Other ones include algae, sponges, and cnidarians. Now, the second type of reproduction, we have the sexual reproduction. And sexual reproduction, it explores the union of haploid gametes, genetic recombination, which brings about formation of individuals that are genetically distinct from their parent plant. And sexual reproduction usually majorly occurs via meiosis. And were you in the class where we talked about cell division?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we said cell division. I said there are two types of cell division: mitosis and meiosis. And we said meiosis is the one that involves it is the one that involves that is commonly categorized that is commonly associated with sexual reproduction. And why is it associated with sexual reproduction? Because it involves the fusion of gametes. A male gamete fuses with a female gamete. Now, what, like I mentioned earlier, I said sexual reproduction is it involves two parent plants, a male, two parents, a male parent and a female parent, and it occurs as with the fusion of gametes. Now we have the process in which sexual reproduction occur. This process is called fertilization. You know, I was mentioning gamete fusion of gametes. This process is called fertilization. And when they become fertilized, the male part becomes fertilizing the female part. It results in the formation of a new individual. Now, talking about types of reproduction, I would like to the types of sexual reproduction. Sorry, talking about the types of sexual reproduction, I would like to state that there are two types of sexual reproduction. We have conjugation and we have fusion of gametes. In conjugation, this one is common in the lower organisms, where they pair with another cell and exchange nucleus. They form conjugates. They form conjugates, and that is how they reproduce. Or like the most common one, where we have the fusion of gametes. Sexual reproduction by the fusion of gametes, which I already explained that it involves fusion of a male sex cell, a male gamete with a female gamete in a process called fertilization. And what does it yield? It yields a zygote. This zygote continues to develop, become a blastocyst, then forms the embryo, and depending on what kind of organism it is, it continues to develop. So, okay, I have explained the types of reproduction. Okay, all right, okay, that is all. All right. So, Melody, are you there? I need to unmute your mic so we can, since it's just the
Yes,
two of us, so
ma'am.
we can interact better.
Okay, ma'am.
We started the class quite late, so I had to make sure to double up so we can finish up in time and we have time for questions and answer. So, Melody, do you have any question from our last class yesterday or for today's class?
No, ma'am.
Do you have questions from our class yesterday,
Mm,
or you've not been able to
this
read through your book? Okay, okay, I'm listening.
this nasty response and traffic response.
Yes.
My network was not really good like that, so I could not hear what you were
Oh,
saying.
okay, okay, okay. Did you try
So,
checking your dashboard for the uploaded version of the class
okay, I'll
yesterday?
check. I'll check.
Okay. Okay, that's great. You see, that's the advantage of having a clear classes recorded. Since it's recorded, you can easily go back, check your dashboard. In fact, the session for yesterday has been uploaded. I have uploaded it already, so you should be able to find it on your dashboard, so you can go through it. Okay. But based on what we have for
Yes,
today, do you have questions?
no, ma'am.
Okay. So in the absence of questions, let me ask you a question. What do you understand by reproduction? What do you understand by reproduction?
It is the ability of an organism to give birth to their young ones.
To give birth to their young ones, to produce offspring. Good. How many types of reproduction do we have?
Two,
Okay, mention them. Melody, are you there?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I said mention the types of reproduction that we have.
Okay. Sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction.
Okay, good. Okay, okay. So how many types of asexual reproduction do we have? Mention
Five.
them. The ones you can remember. Okay, yes, we have five. That's correct. Mention the ones you can remember.
Fusion,
Yes,
budding, spore
yes.
formation, vegetative
Okay.
propagation, and fragmentation.
Okay, that is great. And what do you know about asexual reproduction? What does it involve?
It involves a single parent giving birth to offspring.
Okay, how about sexual reproduction? How about sexual reproduction? What
Ma'am,
does it
please repeat.
involve?
Okay. It involves two parents giving birth
Okay,
to their offspring.
okay. So, what are examples of some vegetative plants, vegetative parts that is used in vegetative propagation?
Um,
Any idea?
their body.
What plant part? Plant parts.
Their pod.
They are what?
Blood. Their
Eh?
bod. Bod.
Okay. Let me take you through it again. You know, we said that there are 5 types of asexual reproduction, and one of it is
Yes.
vegetative propagation, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. And we said vegetative propagation involves the use of vegetative parts of plants. So I'm now asking, what are examples of those plant parts that we can use? Example of those plant parts, you can use the leaf, the stem, the roots. Look at cassava now. Did you know cassava?
Yes.
You know cassava. How do they plant cassava? It's through the stem, Abby?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So the vegetative part of the plant that is used in cassava, for example, is the stem. You get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Which organism commonly reproduces via budding? Formation of bud. That picture I showed you
Hydra.
earlier. What did you call it?
Hydra.
Oh, thank you so much. Hydra, that is good. That is good. How about fragmentation? Which organism commonly reproduces via fragmentation?
Spirogyra.
Okay, Spirogyra. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your participation in class today. Thank you so much for your participation. I really appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. So let me mark the attendance. Oh, Obawumi, hi. It's good to have you here. Hi, Obawumi. It's good to have you here. Obawumi, can you hear us? Obawumi, I guess you can't hear us.
Yeah, ma.
Good evening, Obawumi. How are you doing? Okay, I'm just going through the attendance. Okay, I marked the attendance for today. All right, Obawumi. Hello, Obawumi. Okay, I think she's having network difficulties or she can't hear us. Okay, Melody. Melody and Obawumi. Melody.
Ma.
All right, good. Your assignments for this week has been uploaded on your online. It has been published. So the assignment is on the topic we did yesterday, irritability, and today's topic, reproduction. So,
Okay.
excuse me. Do well to attempt the assignment. Okay. The closing date
Yes,
is, I think,
ma'am.
next week Wednesday or Thursday, 11:59 p.m. So please do well to attempt your assignment. Late submission is not allowed. Okay. I'm not allowing late
Yes, ma'am.
submission. You have today till next week Wednesday to have the assignment done. I think that's enough time. And it's just 10 questions. It wouldn't even take you up to 10 minutes. That's why I don't make the questions too long, too much, so that you don't find it difficult to finish up in time. You won't use up to 10 minutes unless you're having network difficulties anyways. So we'll see you in our next class next week Thursday. Obaomi, please do well to check your dashboard latest by tomorrow for the recorded version of today's class. Okay. So, Melody and Obaomi, if I eventually you have questions while you're going through the recorded sessions, you can just note it down. And in our next class next week Thursday, we're going to go through it. Okay. All
Okay,
right. In the
ma.
absence of question, I'm going to see you next week Thursday. Do have a good evening.